Stampers, and welcome back to part 2 on my never-ending infinity card series. So stinking cool. If you haven't seen part 1 where I show you how to make the base, be sure to watch that first so you can learn how to make this base that is just so much fun. I can't stop playing with it. Now I'm going to give you a few tips on decorating your never-ending card. I'll also have samples of all of these on my blog in each of their stages so you can use them for reference. On all of my samples, I used different Stampin' Up! Designer paper packs because all of the pages were made to coordinate. They're double-sided so that as you're flipping them, they're different, but they all blend together. This one's called Playdate. Playdate also has a matching adhesive pack that has strips and different stickers on it that match the papers, so this one really went awesome together. So I'm using a little piece of Stampin' Up! Grid paper here for my measurements. I love this grid paper. So the bigger blocks are 2 inches by 2 3/4, the inside section. So what I did was I cut my panels maybe 1/8 of an inch smaller than that so they fit inside the fold. For the front panel, I'm going to do 2 of those, and I'm not going to decorate the whole thing today. I'm just going to show you a couple of tips that are fun for decorating. So I've cut these down so they're about 1/8 of an inch smaller than the square they're going in. A little snail adhesive sticks them on. Another fun thing I did here was I used some of Stampin' Up's different size circle punches to punch out the cardstock. In this case, it was chocolate chip on chocolate chip. Isn't that fun? So it just gave you a little dimension. On the inside, I used our owl punch and I coordinated some of the Playdate paper, both for the background and the owl, and some of the Playdate stick-ons from the stick-on pack. As you're decorating, keep in mind that some of your sections will be visible in more than one fold. For instance, this green panel was visible in both of these folds, so you want to make sure that if you put a design or a word here, that it looks okay sticking out. And then some more designer paper, and then again, some more punches, tone on tone, just to give it a little dimension but not too busy. Oh, awesome! Here's a different never-ending card that I use Stampin' Up's Love Letter designer papers for. It's like a black and red combination of really pretty papers. One of the papers had this funky design. So what I did was I cut them in the sections to fit the blocks. Remember, each one's 1/8 of an inch smaller than the actual block. And then I put one of Stampin' Up's vintage trinkets on there and one of the rhinestone brads down here. If you're adding embellishments, you want to be aware that you don't want them too bulky. And if you do brads, make sure that the brad goes through the designer paper and not all the way through the cardstock, or the back of the brad will show. And the same with the ribbon. You need to make sure that it ends here. Isn't that fun? Endless possibilities to the never-ending card. It is so much fun. And this last one I'll show you, I actually used Stampin' Up's bat wheel on the background here and embossed black on black paper. How cool is that? Then I used some of their specialty paper here. This is actually fuzzy, and the bat punch for some more fun on this one. There's just so many cool ideas. And here's another one that I did tone on tone. Instead of the circles, I used the cogs punch that Stampin' Up sells. And now, happy decorating! Be sure to visit my blog at this address for both the template to make this and photos of all of these, as well as part 1 of the series. Thanks for joining me.